everyone. Thank you very much for joining the information session for Summer Abroad Iceland program. We will start session with the land acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. And I would like to introduce you to presenters today. And I'm very happy that I have the Professor Bertram here to join us, and she is going to talk to you about the history course in Iceland. This is a new course we offer in Iceland this year. We are very excited to make this happen. And I'm Selena. I'm the Summer Abroad Program Manager. I'm overseeing this course. So if you have any questions after the session, you can always email us. We will answer that questions for you. And because Professor Bertrand will need to leave early, so that I would like to introduce her, and also would like to invite her to speak about the program and course details. And then later I will give you an overview of Summer Abroad and field trips and how to apply, and then go over the financial aid and followed by a Q&A session. If you have any questions for Professor Bertram, please put your questions in the Q&A section. So after her presentation, and we are going to go to the Q&A section for any questions about course content. Okay, over to you.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. So nice to have you here today. Thanks for joining us. So yes, this is the first year that we are offering this course. It is going to be a really, really fascinating year. You know, whenever I speak to someone about the first time they go to Iceland, they often talk about it as being like a transformative experience. And I hope to give you the same when we travel together if you decide to come. And today what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about the reason for this course, what I hope that you will get out of it, not just in terms of a university credit, but in terms of, you know, your life path, the things that you're going to be focusing on in life, the things you're going to be dealing with in life, and then a little bit of information about what you can expect in a class with me. Okay, so why Iceland? This is a really, really important question. You know, I'm Icelandic on my mother's side, and it's interesting to be from a country that goes from being, I think, something that's quite obscure to something that's on the global stage in quite a prominent way, since we have so many things happening in the Arctic these days. So I've always valued going to Iceland and seeing how closely knit together the history and the future are in terms of policy and how people think and how they deal with different problems. So slide. All right. And a little bit more about me. So I am an associate professor here in the Department of History at the University of Toronto. I'm also a faculty fellow at the Schwartz-Reisman Institute for the Study of Science of Society and Technology. I run a small AI and humanities lab here, so I'm really interested both in history and also in AI. I'm traditionally a historian of the 19th century, and I focus on Icelandic migration and society in my work on Iceland. And what I really love about history today is that we ourselves are living through a really historic time. And I believe that the role of the historian is to help basically people access the histories that they need to navigate their own historic times. Slide. So we are going way up north. You're going to be on the edge of the Arctic Circle. We're going to be really, really close to a lot of wild things that are happening right now. As you can see, Iceland and Canada, our Arctics are fairly close together, as are all things in the Arctic. And that's what makes this a really exciting chance to learn about, how is the Arctic changing, not just in terms of climate stuff, but in the geopolitical realm as well. And then how do people how do they navigate that? How do they live with that in their everyday lives? And how do they do it in a way that promotes resiliency, vibrancy, and an ability to adapt? Slide. So it's really, really interesting to see a lot of studies talking about how happy people in Iceland are, how good their quality of living is. And I'll give you some more examples at the end here, at the next slide. But these reports are very, very common in places that are actually very difficult to live in. And I think that, when we look at our lives today in Canada and a lot of the problems that people have with, legitimate concerns like anxiety and depression, it's interesting when we change situations and we look at places where those rates could be lower, right? And there seems to be other factors at play that are enhancing the quality of human life. So we really have a lot to learn from these particular societies and what it is about like how they navigate difficulty that gives them something that really creates that kind of resilience slide. So Iceland, for example, ranks number one in the Global Peace Index, number one in the Human Development Index from the United Nations. So that's basically like how good is your quality of life. They've always been or since the 1970s, they've been a world leader in closing the gender gap. And they're also world leaders in geothermal energy, in language protection. And we did a land acknowledgement here today. I work with Indigenous scholars here in Canada to talk about how Icelandic language protection models could really teach the Canadian government about how to protect Indigenous languages here in Canada. And also, Iceland's also been a world leader in Arctic sovereignty as well. So, as those kinds of questions about climate and about reconciliation and about, geopolitics emerge, when we look at Iceland, it's like, wow, here are people that have kind of sorted some things out, that they've prioritized these things, and it seems to be working out to some extent. So let's go there and let's see what's really happening. Slide. So yeah, it is like it is very difficult to live in Iceland, in the pre-modern era. So the people who migrated there at the end of the first millennium, they lived in like a really difficult place. They lived on the edge of the Arctic Circle, icebergs, glaciers, like frozen everything. But they also landed on an island that it was incredibly geothermically active. So they basically were constantly living beside the volcano, both in a literal sense, but also in a conceptual sense. So they were people that had to think constantly about, like, like that mountain could explode at any moment. And yet they still managed to create something that was really, really tough, and really adapted to living in those kinds of circumstances. Slide. And that's our good volcanic eruption uh, animation there. Great slide next. Thank you. Perfect. So, in terms of like, histories of design, histories of architecture, histories of food, histories of textiles, looking at how early Icelanders adapted to and arguably thrived at different points in a very difficult landscape can teach us a lot. And so, in our classes, we're going to be spending part of the days in museum collections. We're going to be traveling to different kinds of outdoor landmarks. And we're really going to have like a hands-on experience with that kind of history because the landscape and the climate of Iceland itself is also part of our history text, right? It is the actor, it's the predominant actor in all of this. And so I'm going to teach you a little bit about what it's like to think that way, kind of like this land engaged focus on human history. Slide. And I'm going to show you like some really interesting, wild stuff about the history of Icelandic people as well. So, how did their societies adapt? Well, arguably part of the solution was, building that strength from within. So, of course, Iceland's very famous also for being the home to really famous Viking figures, Viking age figures like Leif Erikson, Skallagrímsson, a lot of the wild Vikings and the berserkers that are described in the Icelandic sagas. And what we're going to learn about is kind of like, how these ancestral Icelanders were really about, finding light, finding ways to live that were more fearless in a place that you could be completely immobilized by fear. So we're going to be looking both at sort of the psychology of early Icelanders, as well as the power of the stories of early Icelanders in Icelandic society today. So even though a lot of these events in the Icelandic sagas take place over a millennium ago, these are still living stories in Icelandic society in terms of how people think, what they reference, the language itself. And because this is very similar in some respects to Indigenous societies in North America, I think there's a lot to be talked about in terms of, what Canada and Iceland or people in Canada and people in Iceland can really learn from each other. Slide. And Icelanders, interestingly enough, also really love to have a great time, right? This focus on quality of life, on togetherness, on being outside, connecting with nature, just living with nature constantly. These also seem to be major factors in what makes, life in Iceland a little bit more, I don't know, enriching or enjoyable for people. So we're going to be looking at this both from a historical standpoint, so like what happened, what is the history here? And then knitting it together with that policy focus. So, what can that history teach us about today? Can we take the lessons that Iceland has learned today and apply different aspects of them to Canadian society or to global society to improve various issues? Slide. So, one of the ways, and you can press animate if there's a play button on that one, it should show. So this is kind of like a symbolic thing that Icelanders do. They take the things that are so disruptive or so scary or so overwhelming, like volcanic energy, right? These exploding mountains, and they figure out ways to turn them into functional things or things that somehow, belong in human society. So geothermal energy, excellent kind of way of sort of describing that you take what is disruptive and difficult and you turn it into an opportunity. So this is kind of like that whole psychology of living in this kind of landscape that I'd like to share with you in the class. Slide. So I have taught a lot of classes here at U of T. I recently won a teaching award, and my goal for you is to have an amazing time in this class. And when you come out of this class, I want you to feel like you have things that you can walk forward with in your life that will serve you. So, what I like to do, like I love history. I think you probably love history too if you're here. History is great, but it's also extremely relevant. And it's important for us to explain precisely how and why different histories are relevant to different challenges that we might be facing to get today. So this classroom is kind of experimental. It's looking at the different ways that we translate history and humanities learning into actual change. So because Iceland's a smaller country, it's easier for you to see this, where, our most recent prime minister, our most recent president, Guðni Jóhannesson, he's a history professor, and that is not unusual in Iceland. History is constantly the policy advisor, constantly the frame of reference, constantly the source of support. So we're going to look at that model and think about how that can apply today. How do we turn this into policy and change for the future that is positive? Slide. So when we go to Iceland, you're going to be in really three-dimensional classrooms. Like we have like space at the University of Iceland, but we're going to be going all over. We're going to be exploring the architecture, the landscape, the climate. Um, and this is all about building engagement for you to deepen your understanding so that the lessons that you learn in Iceland come forward with you into the future. Slide. And so a lot of what we're doing is also going to be really, really immersive. We're going to go to an Icelandic sheep farm. I'm going to be taking you to, some of the secret Icelandic spots that like I love, and I think are really impactful and really moving. And this is a classic kind of Icelandic thing to do, right? Is you'll notice a lot of Icelanders just like will build a museum somewhere. They're just very museum and culture oriented people. And so I want to give you sort of a taste of what that's like and how it is that Icelanders, oh, sorry, just go back one slide for a sec. Thank you so much. How it is that Icelanders bring together that understanding of the past to think about the present. Slide. So yes, here we have a class that is about the past, but it's about the present and the future as well. And part of the secret to what you're going to learn about Icelandic society is that it's about connection, right? It's about people connecting to their past. It's about people connecting to the world. And it's about us also connecting to each other. So you're going to be learning about, those different ways of connection in Iceland, and how those can enrich these conversations around, our history, but also the modern challenges that we face today. And so I hope that this is also a really transformative experience for you. And I just wanted to give you one quick overview of our grades for the class, just so you have a bit of a sense of what will happen. So because I work in AI, I'm really excited to create experiences and assignments for you that are generative AI resistant. So not about having to produce an essay, right, that one person will read, and it's very tempting to use ChatGPT. This isn't about that, right? This is about you acquiring something that you will be able to use in the future. So everything here is really designed to promote engagement and understanding. There's 4 quizzes. They're really basic. I find my quizzes to be quite easy. If you're failing in my class, like usually it's because you just didn't come to the classes. And there's also going to be exciting participation in class participation exercises like, we're going to be doing field notes with like museum collections or visiting archaeological sites and things like that. Our final project for this class is actually going to be social media content about something in Iceland that you want to study. So you're going to build me a research proposal on a policy engaged historical item or something that's just really interesting to you. And you're going to produce a piece of social media content. And then you're going to write a little reflection statement afterwards, just describing your curatorial approach. Part of my own work, I work with video-based algorithms like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. And so I'll teach you a little bit about how to work with algorithms as a tool that can help you accelerate the reach of your research. And yeah, I hope that that's another skill also that you can use moving forward. Slide. And so if this is of interest at all, I'm going to give you one more resource. And that is the work of my friend Jules Chambers. So she's an Icelandic travel influencer, and she creates really, really strong content on visiting Iceland, understanding Icelandic society. So this is her podcast. It's called All Things Iceland. She's on all the social platforms as well. And she has one great one that you could just start with, which is just like 3 things you wish you'd know before you'd been there for the first time. So that could be helpful. There's also stuff on here about packing for your trip, what to expect in terms of the weather, and a host of other things that'll help you prepare. All right, that's it for me. I think I've got time for, I don't know if I have enough time for questions today, but if you want to add them into the chat, Selena, maybe you could forward them to me and I can get back to you by email.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's very informative. Thank you.
Awesome. So glad to see you guys. Take care.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hope you had a great introduction to the Iceland program and learn more about Iceland. This is going to be a very interesting course. So we planned a lot of program activities for you while you are in Iceland. So when you arrive, and we will have welcome dinner, and also you are going to visit quite a few museums. Like Professor Bertrand mentioned that a lot of classes maybe you're going to different museums and you're to learning about different things in Iceland. So you can say that you're going to World in Words and Icelandic Settlement Center. You're going to a sheep farm, and also you will go into geothermal area and to have a visit. And then later you will all those field trips are designed to deepen your understanding of the Iceland. Okay, now I would like to come back to Summer Abroad, a general Summer Abroad program. I would like to give you some overview of our Summer Abroad. So our Summer Abroad office have been around for over 50 years. So our first started with our Italy program in 1972. Now we are offering about 40 courses in over 20 locations around the world. Iceland is a new location. We are very excited to start it this year. All U of T course, all the ensemble courses are full year U of T 1 year credit course. So you can take it in summer, which does not conflict of your regular U of T study. And all classes are usually will be run from Mondays to Thursdays, and a few trips and will be running on Fridays or sometimes in the afternoon from Monday to Thursdays. For some locations, you may have field trip over the weekend as well. All those courses are U of T courses, and they're usually tailored to the location. For example, you are going to Iceland and to learn about the culture and history of Iceland. right? So we would like the classroom become your living textbook. You're going to the location and have an immersive experience in learning the course content, and also we can along with other field trips, which all help your understanding of the course content. So all of those awesome courses are taught by U of T faculty, and instructors are mostly from U of T as well. But we do have some faculty from our partner universities are those of our language classes. One of the biggest features of some programs is that we have on-site staff. So the on-site staff is usually speak the local language, and they can help you when you are, when you go to a new environment and you go to a new location. Might be challenging, especially at the beginning. You may need help, go to seek for medical help, or you need to go to hospital. The on-site staff would be very helpful for helping you with that. All the arrangement will be arranged by us. For example, for all the field trips in Iceland, we arrange the transportation and the visits for you. So it's going to be academic experience. So even you are go to all those field trips. So all those will be arranged by us, and we also arrange accommodation and also any other field trips which are overnight field trips. We will offer you hotel as well. So the Professor Bertrand did tell you like why Iceland, right? And we also want to tell you why summer abroad. So our summer abroad is a great opportunity for you to explore different countries, and you are learning an academic course in that country, not just traveling. So it's a great way for you to become a global citizen, expand your world view, and understand cultural differences from academic perspective as well. And also because our class usually small, we usually have 25 to 30 students per class. That means you do have a lot of opportunity to interact with your classmates and also your professor. And also for our class, usually we have group assignments and also presentations as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to strengthen your adaptability, communication skills. And nowadays, a lot of employers pay more and more attention to your international experience. So by taking some abroad course, you can add the international component and international experience on your resume, which will be helpful when you graduate to looking for other jobs. And many students who are from some abroad programs, they always tell us they might make long time lifelong friends. And so we have a summer abroad reunion in October. That's usually we invite all students who went to different locations in summer abroad programs in that year to join our reunion event. That's another time for you to reconnect with all your friends, even after you are back to Toronto and you are still able to meet your friends like in Toronto as well. Because it's an academic course, so do expect that you will do a lot of work in these 4 weeks. So not only you are having classes from Mondays to Thursday mornings, but in the afternoon probably you will have some assignments you need to work on. You will also need to do some group work together. So you are expecting a lot of time you probably spend on your academic study, but also you will have your own free time to explore the country. But you need to manage your time well. So for Iceland, we arranged a student hostel, which is on the University of Iceland campus for you. So this student hostel is very centrally located in the city, and so we do have two other we have twin room is two single beds with private washrooms. They I will share you a few photos. We do have closet and they have a pillow and a bed linen and tower included as well. It's a shared kitchen, but it looks like a very convenient located, and you do have access to many resources in Iceland, University of Iceland. Here are a few photos. This is a photos taken from the website. So I'm not sure what it actually look like, but you can tell me after you arrive in Iceland. And so you can see the student hostel. I do have the link to the student hostel on our website. So if you want to learn more about the student hostel, please go to our website to go to Iceland programs. You can go to the hostel link so that you have more information about this. So you can see they have double room as a single bed, and also they have a shared kitchen area, and also each one have their private washroom as well. So for summer abroad programs and for U of T students, you are eligible to apply, but you need to be in good academic standing. If you have completed one or more courses, the minimum CGPA requirement is 1.75. We do accept the first year students. If you do not have final grades, you can still apply, but we will look at your grades when you are in the fall so that we know like how you perform while you are first year at U of T. We also have accept student from profession, faculty, or graduate program, and even accept alumni, non-degree students from U of T as well. And if you have friends from other North American universities, and we are also accepting visiting students, but priority will be given to U of T students. If you haven't started your application yet, and you can go to our website. This is a sample website called summerabroad.utoronto.ca. If you click the apply button, and then you can see the application overview and important dates, and you can take a look at what you are expecting for the application, the video assessment as well. Then if you haven't created an account yet, and you can create an account by logging to application so that you can see and what we added in the application form. So you just need to follow instructions on the application form and to complete your application. So our application is currently open, and application deadline is Wednesday, February 4th at 4 p.m. for Iceland program. We do have a few other summer rock programs which have an early deadline and would be this Wednesday, January 14. So if you are also interested in those programs, and you can go to website and check it out. The 210 application fee is non-refundable, but for this year, you can consider select a second choice location in your application. What that means is that, for example, if you are applying to Iceland program, and then we have a question ask you if you will not be able to, if you were not admitted to Iceland program, which other location would you like to consider a second location? And you can, for example, you may consider England location so that you can add England and choose the course in that location as well. But please keep in mind, because it's another location, the course date and time are different. So you need to know before you put down your second choice location, go to the website and check about the other location, whether date and time works for you, and what courses is offered in that location, and whether you are interested. But this option is optional, okay? So you don't have to, but if you would like to consider second choice location, I would highly recommend you to add one there. When we assess your application, and we will assess your academic record over the last 12 months, and we will also see if this course will be relevant to your program study. But we do evaluate the diversity when in our selecting our applicants. Okay, so that means if you are not in history major, you can still consider applying to this course. And but we would really like to know like why you are considering applying, and why this location attractive to you, and like how this course can align with your academic and personal goals. So those are the questions we are in the personal statement. We would like to know more about you. The last section and of the application is a video assessment. So after you complete the online application, you will receive a link to the video assessment. So in the video assessment, we have 3 questions, and the one you will answer those questions and for 1 minute, 1 minute for each question. And after 3 questions, we have one written question for you to answer. So all those questions will be related to culture and adaptability, and also like why you are considering about this course, and also some other questions we would like to know more about you. And so don't worry too much about the video assessment, just be yourself. And that's just another way for us to know about you. Okay. Some I would like to point out that is which is very important, because nowadays the AI is very popular, and please do not use your AI in your application, which will make you disqualified. Okay, so because you do not use a chat GPT and to polish your personal statement, or not use this to generate your essay, and which can lead a disqualification. Admission notification will be sent out by late February, and later you will see that we do have a admission notification timeline for you to for you to view on our website. So for Iceland program, you will probably receive the admission notification by the third week of February. If you are accepting this offer, and we will give you 1 week to confirm your participation by paying the non-refundable $1,000 deposit. So if you decide you would like to participate and you need to pay down the deposit, but the other remaining fees will be due in April. Here are the costs for the program. And this is for, on the left side is for domestic students, and on the right side is for the international students. The only difference between the domestic and international students are the course fee. So you can see the course fee we for domestic students is 4,440. For international students is 5,595. And we or the future fee accommodation is arranged by us. There is based on double occupancy, one accommodation in Iceland. Iceland is a bit expensive, I have to say. Yeah, for field trips and for all the field trips will be arranged by us, and we have been trying to arrange all the field trips with the best company because for some locations you need to travel a bit longer, and all those will be arranged by us so that you are very hands-free. You just need to participate. U of T incidental fee, and those are need to pay on Acorn. So usually after you were admitted to the program starting from March, and we would be able to add a course to Acorn on for summer. So after we will send you an email notification, let you know that the course has been added to Acorn. So the incidental fee usually is required to pay in April. So you need to log in Acorn and to pay the incidental fee. There are some additional costs for you to be aware of. For example, your airfare when you need to go to Iceland, and the meals estimate. They have a shared kitchen in the hostel, so you can do some self-prepared meals, or you can go to the cafeteria, or you go to the dining hall on Iceland, University of Iceland, to get some meals. So the budget would be about $1,000 for meals, and for airfare, if you buy it early, you can get a better price. Okay, so after you know that you were admitted to program, you decide you can want to participate. Start looking into the option of the airfare. Our Sunbrow office also offer some about awards. Those awards are usually needs based. So for students who are domestic students, you are eligible to apply. You also need to be a current U of T undergraduate student. You need to complete at least 4 U of T credits by December 31st. The CGPA requirement is slightly higher, is at least 2.25, and some awards require higher academic average. Okay, you must have a documented financial need to apply. The awards application is embedded in the application on Summer Abroad. So you will come to a question ask you, would you like to apply for a needs-based award? And you select yes, and then you go to the awards application page. Okay. After completing the awards application, you'll be considered a Summer Abroad award. If you go to our financial aid tab on the website, you can see a list of Summer Abroad awards we listed there. You don't have to select which one you would like to apply for, but we will match the award which you may be eligible for. Okay. So for funding is open to domestic U of T students based on financial need. If you are applying for 2 locations, if that's your second choice location, don't worry. But if you do apply for submit 2 locations, and please be mindful that for the award amounts vary depending on the financial need and destination. For example, you may get an award for Iceland, but you may not be able to get an award for another location. Okay, so it's based on destination as well. For some locations, we do have assigned awards for that specific destination. So when you are considering of going to summer abroad programs, we will highly encourage you to start budgeting now because the final payments will be due in April. And if you are looking for other awards, please check your registrar's office and the Faculty of Arts and Science and other departments to see if there's any awards that's applicable to your case. So for example, Victorian College, they do have a study abroad award, and also St. Michael's College, and they have awards available for study abroad as well. And some other offices like Yeah, some other offices also offer awards. So really make sure that you check around and to see if any other awards may be applicable to you. Like UTSC, they also award some study abroad awards, and also like for Germany department. So for some department, they offer department awards as well. So check around, and also we invited students who will receive award from some abroad and to provide some information on our website as well. So go to the student stories to read some awards recipient stories, which can help. They always find awards that we don't know. Okay. And also some of our courses, they are U of T courses, so that they are all eligible for OSAP. So if you're currently on OSAP, and you can just apply for OSAP summer extension, but remember that OSAP funding is only will be released close to the start of the program. So still, you are not using that money to pay for summer abroad. For CIE, and one this award I would highly recommend you to apply is IE Plus Award. This one is open to domestic and international students. So if you are check the website is offered by Center for International Experience. So check the website to see the eligibility for IE Plus Award. And we also hosted how to finance your summer abroad last week. So the webinar recording will be published on our website very soon. So that if you go to our financial aid tab, you can watch the webinar recording. If you still have questions, and please also feel free to send us email. This is the financial aid tab that on our website. So you can go to financial aid tab. You can see on the left column, we do have a summer board awards criteria, list of summer board awards and additional awards. So the IE Plus award and some department awards are listed under additional awards. Those are not administered by our summer board office. You need to go to their website to apply. And we also have one section called as award recipients, so that you can read about the stories to see what other awards they may receive that is applicable to you. Students are responsible for arranging their own visa if necessary, and we will provide you a visa letter which states that you are accepted for this course in Iceland, so that your accommodation and all the information that usually visa officer required. So we will give you a supporting letter to support your visa application. So for other international students, please also always check your embassy and consulate for requirements. If you have a flight layover in some countries, also make sure that you do if you need a transit visa for that country. If you can, and try to apply in Toronto, because if you apply in other countries or the other cities, they may request some document that we cannot provide to you. Okay, so that becomes more complicated. So if you can apply in Toronto, so that we will try our best to support you. And when you buy a flight, if you just make sure that everything is in place, so that you also have the flight insurance just in case your flight canceled, or if you have so it's better to have flight insurance for yourself. After you are admitted to a program, we will also request a medical travel insurance, and that we will give you more information after you were accepted into this program. Our summer office also committed to ADIA, and we are really hoping to provide you as much information as we can and regarding the EDI and accessibility. So we have a tab called EDI and Accessibility tab on our Summerbroad website. When you go to the tab, and you can see the EDI resources when you consider Summerbroad opportunities. We also offer site-specific resources as well. So for Iceland, and it's new, so that we haven't gathered everything ready for Iceland yet. But for some other locations, we do have site-specific resources. But we are putting together resources for Iceland as well. Hopefully, we will be publishing that information in a couple months. We also have program coordinator called Wenzhe Sherry Xu. So she can be reached by email, and you can also book a virtual appointment with her if you would like to know more EDIA resources in different locations. Or when you're considering about some broad programs, you may consider like which location might best fit your EDIA needs. So if you would like to learn more information about that, you can book an appointment with her so that you can talk to her about your concerns and see like how can she help. For students who have accessibility needs, do make sure you need to register with the campus accessibility services office so that we can have a accommodation plan put in place for the course. For some locations would be hard, but for some locations maybe it would be easier for we put together an accommodation plan. So please remember to register with that, and we will require a letter of accommodation to be uploaded to your application within 7 days after being admitted to summer block programs. We also have EDI award, and which is for $5,000 each for four students. Last year we awarded to 4 students. So those EDI award is also considered as a summer board awards. So you don't have to apply it separately. So when you submit your summer board award application, so we will consider you for all the awards that's applicable to you. EDI award is one of them. Here's the timeline for 2026. And our application is currently open, and the application deadline, one is January 14, and for South Africa or science abroad programs like and also Paris, Japan, and England. All the other some broad program have a deadline of February 4th at 4 p.m. Because you also have video assessment, so please do not wait to submit at 4 p.m. Okay, so apply a little bit earlier so that you will receive the video link so that you can start working on your video assessment by the deadline as well. So starting from late January, so for early programs, admission notification will be sent out in late January. But for other programs, we will start sending out the application admission notification from February to March. So keep an eye on your email, and all those notifications will be sent by email. And after you receive the admission notification, you will need to make decision in 1 week. And later, starting from April or March or late March, we will have pre-departure orientation arranged for you. Usually for the pre-departure orientation, we will have more information about how to get to the destination and also the more detailed course content. You can see the course outline currently on the website is very general, but at that time you will have more information about this course for each week and what you are expecting for each week, and also any requirement for you and any work you need to do before you go. Usually no, but maybe some courses they do give you some readings. Maybe you can prepare ahead of time. So all those will be in a pre-departure orientation, which will be in late March or early April for all the admitted students. Starting from May, we will have the start our summer programs. We are quite active on Instagram. So if you want to learn about other students' abroad experience, like last year, every year we do have a social media correspondent for each location, so that if you go to our Instagram, and you can check last summer, you can see a lot of information about other locations, which would be similar for the Iceland is new, but will have like similar kind of experience. And that means you will also have those field trips arranged, also classes, and you will have such 25 students, 25 to 30 students together and starting this course together. And we will have, if you would like to learn more information, you can also visit our website. And like you now, and you're attending program info session, and this information session recording will be published online, where hopefully we can publish by this week or early next week, so that if you want to revisit or if you want to share this information session recording to your friends, and please feel free to do so. And we also run a monthly e-newsletter called The Summary. If you would like to subscribe, we do have a lot of content in the e-newsletter. Usually we collect student stories and also like award recipient stories and interviews with the professor and other contents, which are very related to your summer program experience. And also, we are very easy to book a virtual appointment with a summer board advisor. If you want to learn specific program, always feel free to book a virtual appointment online and or contact our summer board office and call us as well. So that's all information for today. And if you, thank you very much for joining us. But if you have any questions, now is Q&A time. So if you have any questions, please type in the Q&A section. So this Q&A section will not be recorded. Okay, any question you want to ask, and please type in it now. And also my colleague Wendy have been posting many links in the chat box. So if you go to chat box, she posted many links there. And if you, so that if you want to go to see more information about the FAQ and accommodation cost financial aid, you can go through the link she posted.